Good morning, everyone. Brian, you want to start us off?
Yeah, Coach, a couple things for you. Uh, Question for you about Klint Kubiak, and Sam Darnold's getting a lot of praise as he should. Do you think Klint Kubiak, after that first game, who got a lot of criticism, maybe deserves some credit for how he's been scheming guys open the last few games?
Yeah. Our whole offensive staff, I think, is doing a great job. And then we have another opportunity, just finish with the guys on the radio. Having this kind of miniature buy here, understanding, like taking a look at what we're doing and how we can improve, and just love their mindset, and we're working well together. And I think Clint's doing a great job.
And you said just on the radio, you guys are good. You can be great. What are two things you think you want to improve on to go from good to great?
Well, I think there's opportunities for us as a football team to capitalize on, and that's how we're executing in those moments, and how we're calling it, and our philosophy. So I don't have the answers to that right now, but I know we'll be looking at that, and our run game. Where's our run game? What are we doing well? How can we improve? And then, how we're handling. Right now, I feel like our pass defense is good, but there's going to be room for growth there and how we marry it together. So return game, our return numbers. There's a lot of things that come to mind.
And then Mickey Minwori, he didn't play last night. You'd said before that Devon Witherspoon doesn't need as much practice, but Nick, being a rookie, does.
Yeah.
Was he being held out last night because you feel like he needs more practice reps, or was that still a health thing?
No, it was it would have been both. If let's say he said he was ready to play on Wednesday, we wouldn't have played him. Unless he took a turn earlier in the week, we probably would have looked at it. But yeah, it was a health thing.
Okay, thanks.
Bob?
Yeah, Mike, it just sounded like maybe you haven't gotten through the second half of the watching your film of what you saw on the radio. But you guys were so dominant statistically defensively through three quarters. Did you feel like anything changed with what they were doing in the fourth quarter at all, or just obviously you guys had a couple of penalties in there as well?
Yeah, well, their philosophy is they go to, when they're down multiple scores, they go into no-huddle mode earlier than most teams, and we have to play that better. I mean, we have to play it better. We got to call it better. I got to execute better, and again, that's the feeling I had coming out of the game. I know our guys. It's not for a lack of trying. Our guys are battling. They're playing really hard, and I understand there's some penalties involved. There's a lot of yardage with a couple of those penalties, which we'll look at and see how we can improve on that front.
And I guess the only injury we saw was Lawrence. Was there anything else that came out of that game at all that you know of? Or?
Yeah, there's a couple things, and if I told you now, and I'd probably change it on Monday, so I'll wait to tell you.
Okay, all right.
I want to be right, but I haven't been right, so I'm just gonna.
No, that's fair.
I'm gonna not be wrong at this point.
We gotta ask. Yeah.
Speaking of not being wrong, Michael Sean?
I don't know how to take that. Mike, sure, as you know, a lot of Zach and Ken's runs have gone backwards or for nothing. Why is that?
Well, I think it's a process result thing you're looking at. You're looking at, I mean, what do we ran for 150 yesterday. So there's a lot of good stuff that we're doing. I think we took a step from the week before, but there are runs where we're just not getting off the ground. So it's really everybody. It's how we design it, how we coach it, how we're blocking it, how we're running it. It's a lot of things. So I think that's part of the things we're going to be looking at moving forward, especially over the weekend, and see how we can improve.
Thank you.
Greg?
Sir, how's Riq Woolen doing, and what's the coaching emphasis on the ball in the air for him right now?
Yeah, look, I think Riq's he's playing really hard. I think he's pressing maybe a little bit on his with the situation going on, and but it does seem like some of those penalties are in the same kind of mode where it's playing the deep ball when he's in phase. A couple of them where you put in a tough spot where they look like it was underthrown a little bit, and that's a hard situation for the corner. But we can keep putting them in more situations in practice. give him some more exposure to those plays so he has some more confidence when he's put in those situations. Those are plays that he's made throughout his career. We expect him to make them. He knows that he can make those plays, and so we'll just go try to make it right at this point.
And what was the thinking of DeAnthony Bell as a big nickel third safety last night, and how'd that work out?
Yeah, DeAnthony's doing a good job for us. He really, he's kind of filled in for Nick's role, and when teams go a little bit bigger on us, and we want to get a little bit bigger at nickel, and that's really the decision behind it. But he does a great job. He's really physical. He's decisive. He plays hard, tackles well. He's been an asset for us.
And then one final one. When they tied it at 20, I talked to some guys about the mentality on the sideline. What struck you? What did you notice in those moments before the kickoff?
Well, I didn't do like a survey of what everybody was feeling, but just by the feeling that I had was, okay, hey, look, we're in a, we could kind of describe what our 2-minute operation is at that point, and I was hoping we would pop a return, to shorten the field for us. So that was it. That was an example of, hey, we get an opportunity with, our starting field position, and we took advantage of it. And by not having to create anything crazy, but just by executing and playing our style of ball, doing the stuff that we do well, and we're able to be able to execute to give ourselves a chance to win. That's a situation where we have to do a better job of throughout the games and take advantage of those things. But I know our conversation on the headsets was really just identifying the situation, getting the plays dialed up that we wanted to get dialed up, and let's go rock and roll.
If they don't miss the landing zone there, and say you're hemmed in your 20 or so, were you, with one timeout, 28 seconds, were you going for the field goal anyway, or were you going to pack it and play overtime?
Yeah, we were going for it.
Okay, thanks.
Masvita?
And my kind of philosophical question, we keep hearing the connectedness of this team from players and you as well. Just how does trust play into that? Why is that important, and how does that show up on the field?
Yeah, it's easy to give you all the buzzwords and everything when things are going well. Sometimes that can mask the spirit of your team, the connectedness of your team, all those things we're talking about. So to me, it's like when we have adversity, when we're up, our backs are up against the wall, things aren't necessarily going our way. People might make some decisions that aren't helpful for the team. How do you work through those situations? And right now, I'm proud of our attitude and our approach, and you have to have trust to kind of work through those things. And so that's going to be something that we're going to be leaning on here over the next X amount of weeks, X amount of days, where we have a sense of urgency to improve, and get better and put games like that away earlier.
And then on Uchenna, just the return, and he kind of said he was gassed last night, but just what are you seeing in terms of his return and that helps the team?
I said that Uchenna was gassed last night?
No. Oh. Somebody asked him just how he felt post-game last night, and he said, I'm glad to be back. I'm proud of my team, but I'll be honest with you, I'm gassed.
Well, our guys play hard. I mean, should be tired, man. They play a certain way, and it felt like you felt Chen out there, which is great. He's back, and I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him. Again, I've only watched the first half, but definitely felt his presence out there, and he's got such a knack for how to rush with angles and set up blocks. He's a great game runner. All those things. There's a physicality to how he plays, which is really cool, and he complements the rest of the group.
Thanks.
John?
Yeah, Mike, yesterday I think you said Sam and Jax were playing lights out. What is it for two guys that have played together for less than a season? What allows them to have that kind of connection so early?
Yeah, every opportunity that I have to show the importance and the significance of the offseason program, it's I really believe that sets foundation for your team. On and off the field, all the chemistry, all those reps in April and May and June, those stack, and those are things that are really important. It doesn't necessarily feel like that in the moment, but if you don't do those things, you don't have that foundation, and I feel like you're playing catch up the rest of the season. And those guys were here every day in the spring, and they were committed to the process along with the rest of our offense. I feel like our whole offense was here the entire spring, which is just awesome. I think that's been paying dividends for us.
Brian?
Coach, you'd said earlier that one of the reasons that you guys didn't use the tush push with Barner was it was longer than a yard. Last night it seemed like there was a play that was shorter, and you guys didn't go there.
Yep.
Just thoughts on why that's not the automatic on short yardage?
That's something we need to talk about. I think you can put that on me in terms of diagnosing how long the play was. But that was a play that we could have gone to in that situation.
And then just a question on what do you think needs to happen on defense for you guys to close out games a little bit better?
Well, I think it's several things. I got to call it better. I think I got to put our guys in better positions in those situations. How we get organized on a play-to-play basis, we're going to look at in terms of our process. And I think our guys' mental space is the right thing. I think we just got to keep executing, just keep stacking really good plays over one another. And we had opportunities to do it. I think we got them to a couple fourth downs. The guy made a great play on the fourth down where, I think our execution on that play was about as good as you get. So sometimes that's going to happen, and you got to be able to rebound and ultimately come up with those plays. But you're right, we have to be able to close the games out in the fourth quarter.
Thanks, Coach.
Brady.
Hey, Mike, what do you think of the way Witherspoon played after missing the last couple games? And is he still dealing with the knee injury? Is that something that still was affecting him last night?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you take your first snap of this season, you're not going to be 100%. So he's going to. But I thought he played a good game. I mean, there's a couple plays he gave up, a couple catches that they got that Harrison had on him, but Spoon's going to be fine. I mean, the guy competes. He's on his stuff. He's a spark plug out there for us. You got to remember, he hasn't practiced. He literally hasn't had a full-speed practice in 3 weeks, and he goes out there and plays an NFL game on a Thursday night and played good football for us. So I think you got to keep that under consideration. And now he's going to have a full week of practice going into the next game. So Spoon's going to be just fine.
Thank you.
Bob?
Yeah, Mike. It looked like Drake Thomas played quite a bit last night, a little bit more than Tyrese at that spot. Just kind of curious what the thinking was there and how you.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing that we've been saying here for a few weeks. Drake's playing really good football, and he's playing winning football. And when you do that, you're going to play for us. And so it's really that simple. So it's great. We got multiple spots where we have guys that can play and go help us win games, which is great for our team.
Anything else? All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.